Hololive and Pokémon, two beloved franchises. But what happens if we put them together? Hello YouTube, today we are asking the question, what if Houshou Marine was a Pokémon Gym Leader? Now for context, Houshou Marine is a VTuber from the Hololive group. A Pokémon Gym Leader is a high-ranking Pokémon trainer. In the world of Pokemon, if you defeat 8 gym leaders, you can collect their badges, then you can challenge the Elite Four, which are higher ranking Pokemon trainers. If you defeat the Elite Four, you can challenge the Pokemon League champion. If you defeat the champion, well, you are now a Pokemon Master. Today we're going to be building Houshou Marine's Pokemon Gym Leader team, as well as coming up with some battle quotes for her. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so we'll be basing Marine's team based on her themes and aesthetic. Because she's restricted to only one type of Pokemon, because in this case she is a gym leader, please bear with me as we may have to stretch things a bit to make it make sense. While this time around we won't really necessarily be basing on any specific strategy like we did with Crony. We'll instead be basing it off of her, like I said, themes, aesthetic, and whatnot. So Houshou Marine is a pirate. She's very flirtatious, but we're going to be mostly focusing on that pirate theme. So I had two choices in mind. One was to be based off of water type Pokemon. The other was to be based off ghost type Pokemon. I ultimately decided to go with ghost type Pokemon because I feel like there are more ghost type Pokemon that fit her aesthetic, the pirate aesthetic. Even though there are definitely some water Pokemon I really wanted to use, but I just can't fit them in there because there aren't enough that matched her pirate aesthetic. There are more ghost Pokemon in my opinion that match that. You'll see as we get into it. So maybe one day if I do another video on Marine, maybe as a Pokemon Master, we could do a lot more cooler stuff. But I hope you'll like what I came up with today. Alright, so here we go. Okay, first Pokemon I want to talk about is going to be Dhelmise. Dhelmise is the sea creeper Pokemon. This Pokemon represents the ship for Houshou Marine, is a ghost grass Pokemon. What better to serve a pirate captain than a ghostly ship wheel / anchor? Dhelmise has really high attack stat and really high defensive stat, making it perfect for fighting physical Pokemon. It also gains powerful moves like Phantom Force and Power Whip, along with a steel type attack known as Anchor Shot, which prevents the enemy Pokemon from fleeing. Here's a fun fact about Dhelmise. According to the Pokedex, it's capable of taking out a Wailord in a single blow. Alright, I don't think I really need to explain why this is a perfect fit for Marine. It's a literal anchor in ship wheel. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so next up is Goldango. This is the coin entity Pokemon. This Pokemon is made up completely of gold coins. It's made of solid gold. The resale value must be insane on this one. This is a really solid Pokemon. It has the Good as Gold ability, which gives it full immunity to Pokemon status moves. But more importantly, it fits into Marine's aesthetic very well because she is a pirate. And what does a pirate seek? Pirate seeks gold. According to the Pokedex, this Pokemon's body is made up of 1,000 coins, and that it gets along with others and is quick to make friends with anybody. Also very fitting, as Marine is known for getting along with many people, including many of the other VTubers in Hololive. Goldango also gets access to moves like Make It Rain, which is a steel type attack that lowers the enemy special attack. It has a very high power on it of 120, and you also earn money at the end of the battle. It also learns self-powering moves like Nasty Plot. It learns regenerative abilities like Recover. I like to imagine maybe it's pulling back some of the gold it's launched out when it used the move Make It Rain. But yeah, very solid Pokemon for a treasure hunting pirate. Okay, let's go ahead and move on. Okay, we're gonna run by these next two fairly quickly. First up is Fluttermane. Fluttermane is a ghost fairy type, also known as a paradox Pokemon. So this is a Pokemon from Scarlet and Violet. It looks a lot like Misdrevious. It has a very unique ability called Protosynthesis, which increases its highest stat by 30%, or it'll increase its speed by 50% while in Sunny Day, or if the booster energy is attached. This Pokemon can learn a variety of different moves such as Dazzling Gleam, Shadow Ball, Mystical Fire, Power Gem, Phantom Force, Pain Split, and Perish Song. It also gets Moonblast at later levels. This Pokemon has a high speed and high special attack stat. It also has really high special defense as well, although it does have low HP. I really just wanted to add this Pokemon in there because I think it is a really cute Pokemon. I think that's really good for Marine's aesthetic, and I just think it's just a good fitting Pokemon. We're kind of stretching it here. Like, there's not really much it has going for it in terms of a pirate theme, but it has two long hair-like tendrils that are very much like Marine's pigtails. That's all I got in this one. We're gonna move on. Okay, next up is Poltegeist. This is the black tea Pokemon. This Pokemon represents Marine's love for tea, specifically her love for like bitter tea. I know she doesn't really like sugar in her tea. That's what I remember. So we're just gonna pretend that this is a black tea Pokemon that isn't very sweet. So that's pretty much what I went with this one. We're trying to get all of her characteristics, not just her pirate one, but a little bit of her personality in there. This is just a straight up ghost Pokemon, and it learns a lot of like also self-powering moves like Shell Smash, which is a really good move that drops its own defenses in order to raise its attack stats and speed stats very high. It gets things like Nasty Plot, Shadow Ball, and even Giga Drain. Has high special attack, high special defense, not so great speed, but with Shell Smash it can change that. And that's all I got to say on this one. Our next Pokemon is going to be Jellicent. Unfortunately, there are no ghost squid / kraken Pokemon. They're all just water types. So we'll make do with the giant jellyfish instead, which is why we've chosen Jellicent. Jellicent is a water ghost Pokemon and is going to represent our terrifying sea creature. I know it's hard to see this thing as terrifying because it's big and cute. Also, we're going with the male variant in this case. Okay, so Jellicent is the floating Pokemon. Is a water ghost type. It gives her a little more coverage. You know, water types are strong against fire types. Water types they're strong against rock and ground types. They also get access to ice moves, which can help them fight other types as well. But I just figured we needed some kind of big sea creature like Pokemon for a pirate themed build. Jellicent is a pretty bulky Pokemon as well. It has a high HP as well as a high special defense. Also, according to the Pokédex lore, Jellicent is always hanging around fancy cruise ships and tankers, hoping to drag away its prey, which I think fits into our theme pretty well. We can stretch it to say pirate ships. It hangs around pirate ships, you know? According to the Pokédex lore, fishermen are terrified of Jellicent, is rumored to drag them into the sea and steal their lives away. That's pretty terrifying. Okay, let's move on. Okay, for our final Pokemon, we are choosing Alolan Marowak. Alolan Marowak represents the skull and bones on our pirate ship flag, but since he's also kind of like a humanoid-shaped Pokemon, we can also think of him as a crewmate. You can call this a stretch, but I thought it sounded pretty cool. Alolan Marowak is a ghost and fire Pokemon. It has powerful moves like Shadow Bone, which is a ghost type attack that has a chance of lowering the enemy's defense stats. It also has Flare Blitz, which is a very powerful fire type attack. While Alolan Marowak doesn't have the best stats, it does have really high physical defense and a not so great physical attack. Usually want something higher, but we're mostly picking them for the aesthetic and the theme of the build. Alolan Marowak is the Bone Keeper Pokemon. It's also known for doing like ritualistic dances, which, you know, Marine is a dancer as well, so it fits with her theme and aesthetics. And that's really all I have to say about this one. I think it was the better choice. We could have gone with something like the Ghost Typhlosion or something, but I just felt like this one was a better fit. Okay, so what about Marine's gym? What does it look like? What's the aesthetic? I like to imagine it's in a port town, but the actual gym takes place on the docks. It's going to be a rather large dock that it was almost like a maze like that leads up to Marine's ship. There's going to be a bunch of barrels and crates that are in the way that you have to push to get through, but if you push the wrong ones, a pirate will pop out and challenge you to a battle. So you have pirate Pokemon trainers who act as the crewmates who are hiding in the barrels or crates who will pop out if you select the wrong barrel or crate. All leading up to a final battle against Marine in the ship itself. Okay, so let's get into perhaps the most fun part of the video, coming up with quotes, things like pre-battle quotes, after-battle quotes, all that type of stuff. I tried to incorporate her flirtatious side as well as her high energy that she puts out. So let's start with her introduction / pre-battle quotes. Here's what I came up with. Okay, so here's some quotes Marine could say if she has you on the ropes. Alright, after a long battle, you finally have defeated Houshou Marine and are ready to take your gym badge. Here's what she has to say after being defeated. Okay, and that is Houshou Marine as a Pokemon Gym Leader. Tell me what you thought about her team and everything about the video. You're more than welcome to leave me comments about your own personal teams for Marine. It was kind of a challenge because we had to stick to the one Pokemon type rule because of the Gym Leader stuff. There's more stuff I wanted to do with this video, but I just didn't really have the time. These videos take a lot of my personal time, and as someone who's still working a 9 to 5, it's just hard to find time to do this stuff. But anyway, please like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you want to see more. Comment if you have something to say. If not, well, thank you anyway for watching the video. Bye.